Good morning everybody, Ian here from Ian Robinson's Cabinetry and Joinery. Today we're going to follow on from a video we recently done about planing on the jet planer thicknesser. So this morning I would like to show you how I make dovetailed drawers for our kitchens at Ian Robinson's Cabinetry and Joinery. We start off with planing the wood down to a thickness. Now I'm going to show you the drawers. There are two types of drawers that we make, and one is a traditional slide in slide out drawer without any metal runners supporting the drawer. The drawers that we're making today are drawers that have undermount full extension soft close runners attached to the drawers. So we will be doing a drawer box and a drawer front to that drawer box separately, so it gets screwed on afterwards. So the idea of that is you can paint it and then you can attach the drawer front to the nice oak drawer box. There are many ways to do dovetails. The way I like doing them is the way that I'm going to show you today. There is a more handmade look to these dovetails. So you need your cabinet size first. So our cabinet is 1000 millimeters wide. So if my cabinet's 1000 mil wide, I need to take off 36 millimeters off total, so that's 18 millimeters each side. Then I need to take off 20 millimeters roughly. You know, within that, I've actually taken off less than that. Because my drawer sides are 15 millimeters thick, and so therefore my front and back of my drawers are going to be 946 millimeters in length. I brought 500 millimeter long drawer runners, and we always have this scenario where the drawer sides are always 10 mil shorter than the drawer runners, and it works. We've got the drawers planed down to 15 mil. We're cutting them to size. So we're cutting them to size on this saw here. I have one left to do. So I'm going to do that now and show you. And then we're going to move on from that. So as you can see here, I've set up my stop. I've put on an MDF flat backboard so this can sit nicely against it. And that way I can add a stop to my chop saw, which is a DeWalt chop saw. So I like to put these MDF ones on because this way you've only got a small gap there, and you can actually line up your mark. If you have to mark it up, you can line up your mark with the side of this small groove that you see here. So I always never presume. I always make these pieces over length, always by 100 mil at least. So knowing that, I take off the first cut. And before I do that, let's put some extraction on. Make my first cut. And I make my second. So that's one side done. Now, what I tend to do is make sure I groove them first before I cut them to length. That way, if anything happens in the spindle, which it shouldn't to be honest, but if it does, you've got something to play with on each end of your piece of wood. So, all the sides are done. There we have it. So they're the sides. So now we move on to the fronts and backs. and you'll cut them to length, and once they're cut to length, we then move on to marking up. So what we've got here is a nice little jig, and this jig does this. Instead of trying to work out your measurements between each pin of your piece of wood, we can use this. On this small piece, this is 125 millimeters wide, okay, and we're going to have 3 pins on that. So I'm going to show you where I'm going to put the pins. If I can get my pencil. I'm always losing pencils. Do you ever get that problem? If you're in woodwork, pencils go missing. There's like it's like the sock that goes missing when you put it into the linen bin, and it comes back washed, dried, and you're one sock missing. So eventually you end up with wearing odd socks. Well, the same sort of scenario happens with pencils. They kind of go missing, and then all of a sudden they all turn up all at once, and you got shed loads of little stubby pencils. Anyway, found the pencil, you'll be pleased to know, and I'm just going to mark these dovetails out. So, I don't know whether you can see them very clearly. There you have the marks, and those marks, you'll note, if I can do this nicely without overstretching, but just that pin there is a half pin, and then we go to this pin here, this one here, and that one is a full pin, and then we just come above the groove here for the last pin. So we've got 3 pins there for the dovetails. So that is the side of the drawer. The front and back of the drawers don't have a groove in, and what I do, this is a 6mm groove, so I have a 6mm oak veneered MDF sheet, and that goes as my bottom of the drawer, and that gets screwed on underneath to the front and the back. So I'm going to transfer those lines to the top so I can see them when I'm mounting. What we do, because we've only got 2 of these sides, we put both together with the groove inside, and we take them up, dead flush, dead flat, and we use another jig. So now that's finished with for that particular job, until we get to the bigger drawers, which are these ones here. But now I'm going to take this set up. So what I'm doing here is taping up one end, not going too far to the top, because obviously that's where my marks are, and that's where the router's going to go. And the router's probably going to be coming down to here. Well, it will be. It's going to come down to 15mm, so there's going to be a 15mm line there. So take them up to start with. Right, so that's taped up, as you can see. Okay, nice and flush. I hope you can see that. All nice and flush all the way round. So it's been cut to size, both of them exactly the same as they should be. And that's that one done. 2 sets of drawers, sides taped up, ready to go. So they're done. And what I'm going to do now is I've got to scribe these joints so I don't get any breakout when I router through with the dovetail. So just going to use a scribe, and the way I set up is all these drawers, sides, fronts, backs, they're all exactly the same thickness, so they're 15mm. But to save any issues, if they're 15.2 or 15.20, I use this gauge, and then I might basically put one piece on top of the other, like so. Okay, press down on it, make sure it's all pressed down firmly. You can hear that hitting the drawer, and that is now hitting the drawer, and that is where it should be. So now we have the thickness of our drawer on the scribe. And we scribe all round. Because that is now our mark as well. See, hopefully you see the scribe mark there, and that's all round. Okay, so that gives me a good mark and a good scribe into the wood, so I don't get any breakout on anywhere at all on the wood. Okay, so now I'm set up to the 15mm mark on my router base, and we're half in and half out on my fence. Now set up to 15mm deep, so the bit is protruding 15mm, and the first cut is going to be the half dovetail, and I will cut that first. And I'll cut that first because there's actually half dovetail on every single drawer, don't matter what size it is, as in the height of or the depth of the drawer. So we'll do that first. Let's put some extraction on. It's going to be a bit loud. Okay. So there you go, that didn't take too long, did it? So there you go, there's your first half cut, and that is what you need to do. There's your first joint, and now we're going to do all the joints for all the rest of it. All dovetails done, all along there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins in this one, and 3 pins in that one. 1, 2, 3. Done. So the sides are done. So now what we've got to do is we're going to use this board here. You'll notice lots of router marks out there already. The reason I'm using this board is purely for stability for my router, so I'm free routering into and making the pins. And the way I'm going to do that is making the vise with this. And it's possible, because those drawers are so long, that I may have to put something under that to hire this up even further, and then of course that can be routed from there. So that will give me the height that I want. Yeah, there you go. So, and then each drawer in turn will be routed out, and I will router out freehand routering the pins out. So every dovetail and every side will be marked individually now to the front and back. Good stuff, this. It does cling on. But this may take a little while, so I'll just speed this up. I'm going to mark that to where the groove is. So you can see that, hopefully. So where the groove is, the bottom of my front or the bottom of my back will be flush with the bottom of that groove there. And then I shall mark it from the top, from that point. So I'll just put this on here like so. And these drawers are actually quite nice, really, in the fact that they're long enough to stand on the floor and I can mark them easily. And what I tend to do now is use a pen, if I can find a pen, and mark them with a pen. So line that up nicely with that groove, so the bottom or the dovetails all line up nicely, and when that goes together we'll get a good fit. Then I get this one and turn it around and mark it the other way. And this time the groove's on the left side, whereas before, on this one, the groove was on the right side. So you can't really get mixed up. So I've drawn these lines. These lines are, just drawn that one. These lines are for my reference, okay? I don't know if you can see them. I hope you can, but that's for my reference, okay? So I'm going to route it down to 15 mil. And I'm going to scribe these as well, and that's that one there, so that should be that one, that one, that one. Right, okay, cool. They can only fit a certain way anyway. Right, I'm going to mark all these, and then I'm going to come back to you again, okay? And once I've marked it all up, I'll come back to you and we'll start routering the fronts and the backs. My router bit is set to the height, which is 15 mil. I've scribed the sides as I've scribed these as well. So anyway, here we go. We're going to start free routering these pins and I'll show you the end result. So there you go. Okay, so there you go. Pin's done. I'm going to do every single one of these now, and it's going to take a little bit of time because, like I say, it's all freehand. So it will take a little bit of time to do this. So I'll talk to you soon. Okay, so that's now done. We've now got pins. Yay! All our pins are done, and we can now start putting together and gluing up. So that's the next stage, basically. So you know, it's that simple, really, to do dovetails process. Well, the next process is filling any little gaps that is in the dovetails anywhere, and then sanding, and that's the process. What I'm going to do now is start gluing these dovetails together. This is one drawer, by the way. Just literally put that all together. So just give you an idea. So, as promised, we've got 3 drawers done now, and these are the largest ones, and these are the lovely dovetails. Look, if you can see them, hope you can. All nicely done and sanded to a degree. Got a little bit of finishing off to do still, and then we've got to lacquer them. So that's it, front and back, as you can see there. Lovely job, lovely old job. Nice big drawers. These are what you call pan drawers. So I appreciate you watching me here today and showing you how to make dovetails my way. You know, there are many ways of making dovetails. This is just one way of making them. I feel that the way that I make them here is a really relatively simple way of making them. There's still a lot of skill involved, of course, but it is relatively simple compared to other methods. Anyway, look guys, thank you very much for watching me on YouTube, Ian Robinson, Cabinetry and Joinery. This is the workshop, this is where I make everything. I absolutely love what I do. If anybody out there wants work done, please let me know. Little plug there. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.